Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I'm trying in this part to show you how to implement the for loop. We already covered the while loop, so I'm going to just go through it quickly, and then we start from the while loop to develop the for loop. So as you know, there are three main constructs. They are sequence, where every statement comes after the other, selection, which is the if statement, and we are now in the looping, what's called iteration or looping or repetition. So there is while loop, for loop, and do while. So let us start now to show you. If we start a new file or a new program, call it for example for loop, then in here we can delete some of these added extra things. We don't need them, just to clean it up. And in the main we are going to write our program. I'm going to develop a simple while loop to show you how the mechanism of that while loop, and to trace it to see what's going to produce. So it's called counter controlled because we have a counter to control this loop. So here int count equal to 1, and then while count less than or equal to 5, because this is controlled by the count. It's not necessary to be count, could be any name, but this is a counter control, so controlled by this. So it will start from 1 until reach the number 5. Let us print something here, which is star, printed, and then we need to increment or change the count. So we put count plus plus, means count equal to count plus 1 to increase it by 1. So we start with count equal to 1, while the count less than 5, so count is 1 now, which is less than 5, it means true, so it will go inside the loop here and print to me the star and increase it. See here where it will go back in the brace, at the end of the brace it will go back to the condition again to check it. So it will increase it from 1 to 2, and then 2 less than 5, print again, then 3 less than 5, and print it again, and 4 less than 5, and increase it again, print star again, and so on until we reach 5. Then 5 equal 5, it will be printed, but when we reach 6 it will not be printed and get out. Let us run it now. There is a mistake here. Let us find where it is. Compile it. We'll go to double click here to see where is the problem. The problem is in this line. So apparently here is the print. There is no T. Print len. We compile it again. It's now successful. Let us run it. When we run it, we get stars, which are 5 stars. So started from 1 and increased in every loop, and the loop and in the brace. If you want to put the number, just to show you, then we put plus count here. Then it will show you what's the value of count in every loop. So you see it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because start with 1 less than 5, print, then increase to 2. On this place where the end of the brace, it will go back. Yeah. Of course, count not necessary to be a name of count, it could be anything. Let us put it as x. You see the x now do the same job as the count, so not necessary to be count, but it is considered as counter. This is counter because it is controlling the loop. So we count again, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then stop here. So this is counter controlled, where X is the counter, and controlling the loop starting from 1, ending at 5, increasing the steps by 1 and 1 and 1. If we see, there are 3 pieces are very important. This is the first one, which is the initialize. We must initialize the counter with a value. It's initialized now with 1, because otherwise if we don't know where to start, then how the loop can be controlled. It could be 3, that's the initialized value. So if we put 3, then it would be 3, 4, 5. So this is the initialization. The second part is the condition. Okay, so this is the first part, which is the initialization. Second part, the condition here. We must have a condition to check. If the condition true, we go inside the loop. If it is false, then we don't go inside the loop, we jump just outside it. So the condition here is x less than 5. So while x less than 5, it's true, then enter to the loop, do whatever in the loop, and then go back. So this is the second part. Condition. And the third part is the change, because if we don't change the counter, it will stay with the same value and will never reach the false. That means we will have infinity loop. It will continue looping forever, will never stop. But here with this change, we increase it by plus plus, then in this case it would be not necessary to be increased by 1. It could be increased by more than 1, plus 2. So that means it will be increased 2 by 2, which is the third part, counter change we call it. See here, start with 2, 2 less than 5, print 2, then it would be 4, x plus 2, 4, and then come here, 4 less than 5, and then print it, and so on. Okay, we go to the, we can put it like plus equal. Plus equal is the same meaning as x equal to x plus 2. If it is a 3, x equal to x plus a 3. This is another way of writing things. So it's the same result, which is 2 and 5, because we increase it by 3. So start with 2, 2 less than 5, print 2, then increase it by 3, 5, 5 equal to 5, then print it here. Okay, so less than 5, and increase it by 3, it would be 5, and so on. If we put plus plus equal, is the same as x plus plus. Plus plus x, same as x plus plus, which means x equal to x plus 1, which is increase it by 1. Okay, so this is the while loop. Every while loop with control or counter controlled, it must have these 3 pieces. Let us now comment this, and we are going to convert it to for loop to see how can we implement the same thing using the for loop. For loop is easier to use if we have counter control. For loop used only with the counter control, is not used with every possible loop. While loop can be applied to any loop, any type of loop, but the for is limited, not general like the while loop. So it is limited to the counter control. Look at here, we put the word for and then open bracket and put all the 3 pieces I mentioned here, and between them semicolon. So int x equal to 2, that's the first part with semicolon, then x less than or equal to 5, this is the condition, the second part, and then the third part is plus plus x or x plus plus plus, x plus plus, which is the conditions here. The 3 pieces are all here. Then whatever you want to print, it should be within the for loop here. This is the second part, and this is the third part. Okay. Now if we want to print something, I'm going to copy this and put it here. Then it is the same thing. You see how many statements we have there? 1, 2, 3, 4, and here only we have two statements. If we have one statement inside the for loop, we don't need to have brackets. But if we need more than one statement, we can put more than one. We have to put braces, because if it is more than one. Now if we just compile it and run it, we have the same result, exactly the same result as the while loop. What's the mechanism here? It will start with x equal to 2, then check if the x less than or equal to 5, which is yes, less than. Then it will go to before it increase it, it will go to print that thing. You see, we put int x here inside the for loop, which is possible to put it outside as well. I will show you in a minute. So the first part, when x equal to 2, check the x less than 5 and then go to print. Then when in the second loop, it will go to the increase x by 1 and then come to check the x with the less than 5, and if it is less than 5, print and loop within that part. So the first part is from x equals 0 and check the condition. Part 1, then check part 2 and enter if it is true. Then in the next second loop, it will go to part 3, then part 2, part 3, part 2, part 3, part 2, looping through this until it reach the condition false and then get out. So the first loop is part 1, check part 2, enter if it is true. Then go to part 3, part 2, part 3, part 2, part 3, part 2 until this false and then get out. And here the braces here, the second brace is where the looping happen. So it is like bouncing wall. So every time it reaches that one, to go back to the condition. Let us try to put x equal to 5 and here x less than or equal to 5. What happened, you think? X 5 not less than 2, so it is false. It will go out without doing anything because the condition is false from the beginning. So you see, it's compiled. If we run it, there's nothing happen here. Why? Because x equal to 5, x, which is 5, less than 2, no, which is false. Then it will not go inside the for loop, inside the body of it, and then it will go out. So that means, because we need to change now to x greater than 2. In this case, yes, 5 greater than 2, true. So it will go inside, print to me number 5. When go to increase the x, increase it to 6 greater than 2, it will print it. Then 7 greater than 2 and print it. So we are going in the incorrect direction, in the other direction, because it will increase 5, 6, 7, 8 for infinity. All of them are greater than 2, will never reach the false to stop the loop. So what we need to do, we put minus minus. So start with 5 less than, greater than 2, it will print 5, then 4 greater, it will print 4, and then 3 minus minus, 4 minus 1, 3, and 2, and when it reach 2 not greater than 2, and get out. You see, 5, 4, 3. Start with 5 greater than, then print and decrease to 4, then check again 4 greater than 2, and so on. So this is the process of so it could be going up or going down. So here is going down, which is exactly the same principle as the while loop. If you want to write it as while loop, it would be the 3 pieces in the while loop. What happened if we put semicolon here? The semicolon, as we said, if there is only one statement, the semicolon is the end of the loop. So here, if we have semicolon, that means the for finished here. So it will go through this several times and decrease it. Then see, there is something wrong here, because the x is known only inside the for, cannot be seen outside it, because we declared inside the for. So let us remove it now and see what happened. If we run it now, we will get what? We will get only 1 star. Why 1 star? Because the for loop going through all the 5 and 4 and 3, but nothing happened, because the semicolon is the end of the for loop. So it will loop until it is finished. When it is finished, then comes to the system.print line star, which is as just a statement outside the for loop, because the for loop already done. So the correct one is to remove the semicolon from here. But you see, if we remove the braces, you see, then the semicolon, the first semicolon, is where the bouncing ball, where it comes back. You see here, if we can remove the braces now, but here is, this is like, the first semicolon is the end, unless we have braces. Now what happened here? If we print this, if we run this, then it will run on the first statement several times. This is the loop, and the semicolon, and the finish would be printed only once, because it happened after the loop. So if we run it, see, start, then the finish at the end, because the first semicolon is the end of the, or where the loop. So if we want both of them to be run, we have to put braces. We want to put it here, then the braces means both of them now inside the for loop, and it will be printed star finished, star finished, star finished, to the number of looping. See, star finished, star finished, star finished. So this will show you how the for loop is implemented. Thank you for your listening, and let us meet on the next part.